Hello guys, welcome back to the Beastie Room. Now we're going to do, well, many of you have been asking in the comments on the videos about how our female Singapore Blue is doing. Now she has been improving and she's actually had a couple of feeds as well. We do need to check her today to make sure. So we caught hold of her again about 3 days ago, and we checked her and we found one small maggot there, which we got rid of. We replaced the substrate. She's on absolutely bone dry cocoa fibre. As you guys know, I don't really like cocoa fibre, but in this instance it's absolutely ideal, because the one thing I hate about it is the fact that it's so dry and dusty, and that is exactly what we want. Bone dry and dusty. So that's perfect for our purposes today. So we put cocoa fibre in there, and what we've done, there's a bit of a whenever you've got anything that's ill and it's under treatment, doesn't matter what it is, everything suffers with the stress of the actual illness itself, whatever that may be. And then if we have to handle them to administer any kind of medication or just to have a look at them, like for us, it's very, very difficult for us to be able to see inside the side of the fangs and around the mouthpiece. So we have to physically get hold of our spider and actually have a real good look. We have a look under the magnifying glass here and we can see exactly what's going on. We can't see this purely by putting her in a cricket box or on a piece of glass or anything like that. We don't see enough. So it means that we have to physically get a hold of our spider and have a proper examination. Now that in itself causes stress. So one of the things that I've always done, and something that I feel quite strongly about, is when we have a sickly animal, I don't like to check them on a daily basis. So even when we've had things in the past, things like reptiles or whatever, if they've had say sores or cuts that have gone bad and they go pussy, there is a school of thought that says that you must keep it clean constantly, daily. I find once you've got it down to a situation where it's a little bit under control, you can afford to leave it that little bit longer, then go back and clean it, leave it, go back and clean it. And this is exactly what we've done with this spider. We've left her for 3-4 days at a time. Now, the added bonus of that is it lets her settle down again, and she has in fact fed on 3 different occasions now. She's had a big dubia roach 3 times. So that in itself is far more important, that she is getting food back in her to deal with that stress. It's no different from us. You know, when we go down with a flu, especially you guys, you'll understand, man flu, you know, terrible thing it is as well. You know, it's the scourge of all men. And, you know, we feel really bad about it, don't we? You know, we go downhill, and then as soon as we start eating and drinking and getting back to normal, we start to perk up and we feel better. It's exactly the same for animals. We need to get that nutrients back into them so that they can fight whatever it is that's wrong with them. And so it's more important that she's allowed time to settle down, and then because she's settled, she's more likely to feed. And this is exactly what's happened. We've left her, we've offered her food the following day, and she's taken the food. Now another advantage as well is this is one of the spiders that would quite often come out and tongue feed very, very easily. So it's been an easy thing. We can actually offer her a roach and she'll take it. You know, she's been really good. So that being said, it's now come that time where we're going to have to upset her again and see what's going on. And hopefully we won't find any maggots. But if we do, we'll deal with it. It's that simple. It's not a difficult thing. Now, as you can see, we've changed things a little bit. She's in here, bone dry. Now I assume you can see her quite well. You get a little bit of light maybe, a little bit of light now. So what we're going to do, we've seen now that her abdomen is starting to get a little bit fuller, where she's actually eating, which is a really good sign. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that piece of bark out, and we're going to try and get our spider to walk up the side of this and come out. That's the idea. Now we will need to grab her at some point, but I'd like to actually see her move. And because with many animals, when you see them moving, it can tell a whole different story. So it's very, very interesting to see them move. So we're going to move this piece of bark. She's sitting there. This is good. She's not doing anything. We'll take the water bowl out as well. That can be refreshed. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to touch her with a brush, and we're going to try and get her to walk up the side, because we can already see inside here she doesn't appear to have anything on her. There's no flies in this box either, which is a good sign. She's looking really, really clean. So what we're going to do now is we're going to see if we can get her to move up the box. Her first reaction will give us an indication of whether she's feeling her normal self. Here she comes. See how she turned to face the paintbrush. So that's not a bad thing. It'll make life a little easier for her. Yeah, she doesn't want to leave. She's actually feeling quite strong. She seems to have her faculties together. Last thing we want her to do is take off. Come on out. There we go, you're nearly there. There we go. As you can see, she is a little bit livelier, and she's moving quite well. She seems so much stronger in herself now. If you remember back in the first video, she was really quite weak. You notice the abdomen is now starting to get a bit of shape about it now. She's also getting a little bit of colour. Now her legs are nice and clean. You see she's definitely on the lookout for somewhere to hide, which is really good. You notice we're not getting any threat displays. So she's not that stressed out. She's not particularly bothered. She'll be a little upset once I get hold of her. But yeah, she's looking very much better. You notice how we're using the paintbrush? We're maintaining contact as much as possible, and we can literally, by using the length of the paintbrush, we can hold her, we can direct her, we can see where she wants to go. There we go. Yeah, she is looking much better. 100%. That little tiny white piece on the carapace, that just looks like a little bit of excrement. You don't see any no eggs on her legs or anything. She's looking really clean. So this is a good sign. Now if we get a little bit of light, let's see. There we go. See, she's getting a little bit of colour in her legs. She's not far off a molt, to be fair. And quite often or not, when they've been in a bad way like this, a molt is quite often speeded up and they'll molt out, which would be a really nice thing at the moment. Be nice to see her molt. You see the abdomen there, it's nice and full. She's still got quite a bit of weight to put on, but she's looking good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to try and get a hold of her. Need you to come over this way, my dear. You see what we're doing here? We're using the paintbrush. See how she's using her fangs? She's literally, what we're doing, we're using the length of the brush, and now we can turn her. See how we just turn around? And most of what she done there, she would have felt like she was doing herself. And this is why we're not getting any fret displays. So we're going to use the sponge again, because with a sponge, we can literally pin her to the table. And it's much easier. We just need to get her to the right way round, because I'm right-handed. What we want to do now is get her to turn. We don't want you up here either. So here we go, we come under the leg. We want her to go up the other end of the table. Are you going to stay put? I won't be able to get hold of you there, will I? Right. Now that's a response. See how we're using our fingers just to push on the carapace? We get her down. We've got one finger on the top of the carapace, one finger behind the second pair of legs, and my thumb is behind the other third leg here, sorry. So when we turn her over, you can see how we've got this, what we call a pinch grip. And now we've held her. Now one thing with these, being an arboreal spider, you'll notice that the feet have these hooks and they catch on to absolutely everything. So what we're going to do now, looks clean. Yeah, good look at that. She looks clean. So what we're going to do now, we're going to have a little look under the magnifying glass. Okay.
Just trying to get the hooks on her feet, but I can't.
Right, we'll do that in a minute. We'll have a little look at that in a minute. Right, so we put our light on. We've got a straightforward toothpick here because it's got a nice sharp end to it. And then under the magnifying glass, I can literally get in here. And what we're looking at, we want to see what is going on down the side of the fangs. Because this is where the little blighters hold out if they're going to be in there. And she is nice and clean. Oh, that's very good. Nothing in there at all. A little bit of substrate. Yeah, that's all it is a little bit of substrate. So that's good. So she is in fact clean. You can see there, you notice she's not flexing her fangs at all. She's quite chilled. She's actually being really, really good. But it's down in here. This is where they'll be, if there's any. And she is clean. Well, that is an absolute raging success. We're super pleased about that. That's really cool. Right, now then, so we can have a look. If we use the white, right, if I can get her toe up against the white, we'll be able to see the claw. See that claw? Can you see that? There's two of them. See how it's got on the stick there now? And you see she can actually maneuver those independently. But you can see, look at that. See it now?
I did have.
Right.
You've moved.
You see it?
Yeah, you're better off being on the side to us.
Oh, was it? Okay. So look, there you go. Now these tiny hooks is what enables our spider to climb just about anything. When you've got a big powerful arboreal spider like this, if she manages, when you've got her in this pinch grip, if she manages to get her toes around and she will click onto your skin, she will pull herself out of your hand and you could end up with a very upset spider in your hand.
Yeah, see them ones better.
These ones?
Yeah.
You see those?
Yeah, push it. Oh, sorry guys, out of focus. Hold on. Perfect.
See them? Yeah. So you can see they are really, they're almost like miniature fangs, but they grip anything and everything. Fabulous things. Right. So then, we can also see here, you can see the epigastric furrow there. You see she's obviously a female. So we can literally give our spider the once over, have a real good look at her. She is in wonderful health now.
It's going to sound strange, but is that spinnerets I can see that look like little bubbles?
Yeah. Yep, they have two sets. Two sets of spinnerets there. This is on. The bulb's disappearing. Come over here. She's not keen on her bum being touched. But you've got two different... Whoa. So yeah, you've got tiny spinnerets here. So you've got four. And they're all capable of doing different things. And this is when you see when they make up... I can't bend my hand anymore.
No, this isn't working.
Right. Get back up and focused.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Well, I think what we can do is we can put our stuff back. And what we will do now is we will keep her... I'm actually losing my grip. We will keep her in this situation. Oh, no, I've run out of water. We will keep her in this enclosure for now, and we will see how she goes. She's absolutely clear. So ready? What we're going to do now, we're going to put her back in. Always be careful when you put them back because they can flip around. They might want to flip around and bite you. As soon as she grips that piece of wood, you will lose all control of your spider. So we have to be very careful. We're going to place her down. We're going to keep the finger on the carapace is the one that's pushing her to the wood. Our other fingers are letting go now, you see? And then we just gently come away and let her go off nice and gentle. There you go. The idea is, when we replace them like that, we want them to feel the security of the wood, and then they obviously know that we still have hold of them. But by keeping that little bit of pressure on the finger, on the carapace, we're just physically pushing her down onto the wood, only very gently. It's only very gently. It's hardly anything there, but it stops her from moving. So we do that with that one finger, and then we can release our other fingers, and then we can slowly, when we feel that our spider is relaxed, we then let go. If she was scrabbling around, we would have to think a little bit more about when we let go, because it's when they're scrabbling around like that, that's the chance that they might turn around and try and bite you. Now, any spider would be forgiven for wanting to bite you. You know, we've just literally physically handled this spider, and as you all know, the Singapore Blue is not a spider that really likes to be petted or stroked or anything like that. She'd rather not be anywhere near us. So we have to treat her with the utmost respect. They are very, very powerful spiders, very strong spiders. I am absolutely chuffed to bits with that. Now this goes to show that with this course of action that we followed, it's worked. You know, we had the infestation. You would have seen in the very first video how badly she was. She literally was on sort of death's door. And I know, you know, we saw in the comments many people were like, you should just do the kind thing and just put her to sleep. You know, it's not worth it. But I think this has shown sometimes it is worth doing something. Not always. You know, sometimes we have to look at it and think that's just too far gone. We're not going to get anywhere. And it's just going to be cruel to carry on. But there was still enough fight in this spider for us to carry on and do what we did. And by doing it the way we've done it, we've separated the treatment times. So we haven't been in every day. I am sure if we'd done this every single day, the stress would have been too much. By giving her 2, 3, 4 days break in between, it's spread the stress out and it's made it much, much easier. And she's actually, she's fed and everything. So what we've done, she's actually sitting there and she is just like chilled out. She is so happy. I'm very tempted to try her. I'm going to try her with a roach. I don't think she'll take it, but yeah, we wouldn't normally bother, but we're going to give it a go just out of curiosity, really, and see what happens. So we'll find a nice big roach, nice big soft one. That one will do nicely. That's one thing I like about breeding our own roaches. There's always a volunteer. Always a volunteer. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to just grip this on the end, and we're just going to see. She might not want to bother. I don't think she's gonna. I think she's finding that more of an annoyance. Yeah. I'd say normally what we would do is we would leave her for 24 hours and then we will offer her food. But that's all right. We can leave that in there. She is so much healthier now. Really, really is looking cool. I am so pleased. So pleased. Right. Well, I think we can pretty much say we've passed the... Watch the bin behind you, my dear. See, we set a trap. Put it there. She fell into it straight away. Right. So I think we can say that safely that we've passed the dangerous spot now. And what we will do now, the fact that she's been clean, is we will leave her in here and then we'll give it another week. And we'll carry on making sure she's got fresh water and we'll make sure she's feeding as well. And then we'll perhaps have another look at her in a week's time, and just to make sure. But I think what we can do this time round is we won't need to grab her. I think we can possibly just be able to have a look and just make sure that everything's clean and fine. The fact that we know there's nothing there now is all we need to know at the moment. So we could probably pop her into either get her on the side here. We might even be able to do that, and just enough to see. They're quite evident when they're there. So you know, they'll normally see a bit of mess there. So we'll leave her for a week and we'll see how she goes, and then we'll check her again. But I think we're over the hurdles now. I think we've done really well. I am very, very pleased. Right then, don't forget, be calm, be gentle, and love your spider. And don't forget, hit the like button. I'll see you soon, guys.